If you're just blending tracks from A to B, then you're missing out on the kind of DJ moments that people actually remember. The trick that I'm going to show you in this video is all about taking a well-known vocal, timing it just right, and mixing it over a completely different track to create something massive. My name is DJ Blakey and I've been a pro DJ for over 20 years. I'm a former DMC champion and I've taught DJs all around the world, from complete beginners to touring professionals. So what you're getting in this video is not just theory. This is real stuff that actually works in real DJ sets. I'm going to break this down step by step, and I've got two examples to show you. One with house, and the other with drum and bass. So in this video, I'm going to take two very well-known vocals and I'm going to mix them over different unexpected tracks from the same genre. Now, this is a fairly simple trick to pull off, but the thing is, to get it right and to make it sound like something special requires a level of understanding and knowing a few very important things that I'm going to break down for you in this video. If you were to attempt a mix like this and the two tracks were not in the same key or the mix was not phrased correctly, then it would just make you sound like an amateur rather than a pro. So with what I'm about to show you, you'll be able to pull this off every single time without fail. So let's break down the complete formula. So our first mix is going to be house music, and here on the left deck I've got the acapella for Robin S. Show Me Love. Classic acapella, everyone in the world at any party knows this track. And I'm going to mix it with a brand new house track by Huxley and Steve Bugg called Come On. But this is not just any house track. I have chosen this for a few very specific but important reasons. Number one, both of these tracks are in the same key as each other. And when you're performing an a cappella mix like this is so important and you cannot skip this step. The vocals from Show Me Love have to be in the same key as the other track for it to be harmonically pleasing and nice to listen to. If the a cappella was in a different key, then it's just going to sound super amateur and unpleasant, which is not what you want. So this step is super important. Fortunately, inside modern DJ software like Serato, which is what I'm using for this video, it's really easy to find out what the key of any track is and then work out what other tracks in your library will mix in the same key as that a cappella. So on the left deck, I've got the a cappella loaded in, and you can see right here that Serato has analyzed it as being in the key of 8A. Now 8A is a coded key which is used in DJ software all the time, and it's called the Camelot wheel, which is a rebranded circle of fifths. And the way the code works is, let's say for example, the key of the track is in 8A like it is right here. 8A will mix perfectly in key with a song that is either the same number, one number below, or one number above, and the numbers go from 1 to 12. So for example, 8A will mix perfectly in key with 8A, 7A, or 9A. The number has to be the same, one below or one above. And the reason the Camelot wheel exists in DJ software is to make it super easy to work out which tracks will mix in key with other tracks in your library. And if you look right here to the key column, inside Serato, you can actually click this column to sort any playlist by key. So if we take the Robin S. Show Me Love acapella, which is in 8A, I can now scroll down this playlist. And once I get down to 8A, I now have a ton of options for tracks that are going to mix in key with my acapella. This is the kind of stuff that most DJs never even think to try. And my full course is about opening your eyes to what's actually possible with DJing and how you can start doing it yourself right away. So now that we have two tracks in the same key, the next thing that we need to do is work out what the main part of the a cappella that we're using is, because we want the track on the other deck to drop at that moment where the main part of the vocal kicks in. This is for maximum impact, because of course the drop on any dance music track is the main part of that song, and therefore you want to make sure that the main part of the vocal drops at the same time. With a little bit of preparation, this is not hard to do at all, and I'm going to show you exactly how. So first of all, let's take a listen to the a cappella that I'm going to be using here, which is Robin S. Show Me Love. So the vocal starts off with this really big intro, and then very shortly we're going to get into the main part. So that's kind of the intro, and the main part of the a cappella starts there. Heartbreaks and promises. When the word heartbreaks happens, that's when I want the drop of the house track to kick in. So let's rewind this a cappella and get it to the moment when the vocal kicks in on the word heartbreaks. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a hot cue right at that moment. So let's move the jog wheel until we're right at the beginning of that word, heartbreaks. And then I'm going to set a hot cue using hot cue number 5. And there's a reason for that, which I will explain in a moment. Here on the DDJ Flex 4, there is a dedicated beat jump pad mode right here. If your DJ hardware does not have a dedicated beat jump pad mode, don't worry, because you can do this inside the software very easily. So I'm going to go to the beat jump pad mode, and here in Serato, these 2 pads right here will change the beat jump value. So right now it's on 4 beats, now it's on 8, 16, 32. 32 beats is exactly what we want. And now these 2 buttons right here will jump either backwards using this button or forwards using this button. And because we've got it set to 32, that will jump back 32 beats and that will jump forward 32 beats. And what I want to do is I want to jump back 32 beats before the main part of the acapella kicks in. So let's press this button, and that has now jumped back exactly 32 beats before that acapella kicks in to the main part. If you want to start building moments like this into your own DJ sets, this is the kind of thing that I teach inside my creative open format DJ course. The link is in the description. Now let's go back to hot cue, and I'm going to set a new hot cue right here, 32 beats before the main part of the acapella kicks in. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the house track. I'm going to set a hot cue right at the moment where the track drops. So let's press play on the house track. I've also turned off the vocals inside Serato by pressing this button right here. This turns the track into the instrumental version because I don't want the vocals from the house track. So the drop is coming up here, and when it happens, I'm going to press stop, and I'm going to line up the jog wheel with the first drop. So that right there was the drop. So let's rewind the track, move the jog wheel to right before the drop happens. And again, because this is the main part of the track, I'm going to set a hot cue on hot cue number 5. Don't forget, hot cue number 5 on this side is also on the main part of the track. And the reason I'm doing this is so that I know visually right away, the next time I play these 2 tracks, this is the main part of the track. Now let's go into beat jump on this deck. The value is already on 32 beats. So let's jump back 32 beats using this button here. Now I'm going to go back to hot cue, and I'm going to set a hot cue on hot cue pad number 4, 32 beats before the drop, just like I have done here. Now I'm going to go back to beat jump back 32 beats one more time, then go back to hot cue and then set this hot cue on pad number 3. So now to perform the mix, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the house track from this part here, then I'm going to play the acapella 32 beats before the drop, and then 32 beats after that, both tracks will go into the main part of the song, which will be perfect for creating impact. I'm also going to be using a little bit of reverb on the acapella and a little bit of filter echo combo using this knob right here and Serato. This is going to help me with 2 things. Number 1 is going to stop the acapella from sounding too sparse and empty, but also at the end of each phrase of this vocal, you will hear that there's a gap of silence. But by using the filter echo combo with this knob right here, it will create a nice tail at the end of these sections, which again will stop it sounding sparse and fill it out a bit. So let's take a listen. Once you start learning how to build moments like this, everything about your DJing changes. And that's what my full course is about. It's about showing you how to stand out every time you play. So now we're going to try the same formula, but this time with drum and bass. On the left deck, I've got a classic drum and bass jungle track called Original Nutter by Shy FX and UK Apache. And this is one of the most well-known vocals in drum and bass history. And then on the right side, I've got a brand new track by Molecular called Fair Warning. Now these two tracks are from completely different eras, and therefore it's important to choose a track that works really well with that vocal. And you can only really discover this by listening to different tracks before choosing one. The track I've chosen here is fairly sparse, and it's not too noisy and overproduced, and I think it works well with this vocal. But something that would also work is choosing a kind of jungle inspired and jungle style new drum and bass track. Now to set this up, we're going to follow exactly the same formula as the house mix by setting hot cues at the right moments. So with the track on the right deck, let's get this to the drop section, which is the main part of the track. So the drop is coming up here. So that right there was the drop. So let's get the playhead position right where the drop happens, which is here. And I'm going to set this part of the track on hot cue number 5. And then let's go to beat jump and then jump back 32 and then go back to hot cue and set this part of the track on hot cue number 4. And now we need to find the main part of the track on Original Nutter. So let's take a listen. So the main part of the vocal is what we want to line up with the drop on this track. And it's coming up right here. So now let's set a hot cue right when the main part of that vocal starts. This part right here, that's where we want to set our hot cue. So just make sure that the jog wheel is positioned right before the drop happens. So now let's set this part of the track on hot cue number 5. Go to beat jump, jump back 32, go back to hot cue, set hot cue number 4 right there. Now again, the reason that I set my hot cues like this is I know at a glance, this is the drop, this is 32 beats before the drop, and this is 32 beats before that. And this makes lining up the tracks so that they're perfectly in phrase super easy. Now there's one more thing that we need to do before we actually perform this mix, and that is to sync the keys. You can see the key of the track on the left deck is in 4A, and the key of the track on the right deck is in 12A. But if you press this icon right here inside Serato, it will actually sync the keys of both tracks. So you can see that it's changed the key of the track on the right deck to 5A by bringing it down 1 semitone. But what I actually want to do is I want to increase the key of the Shy FX track up 1 semitone. And you can do that by clicking this icon here. So now you can see the track on the left deck is now 11A and the track on the right deck is 12A. Sometimes I feel that increasing a vocal by 1 semitone can actually add quite a lot of energy to that vocal. And it's more of a subconscious thing, but I think it can sound really good and I like the way it sounds in this mix right here. We also need to make sure that we are only playing the vocal from the track on the left deck, and we can do that by clicking this icon right here, which will remove the instrumental. So now let's take a listen. So that right there is the trick, taking well-known vocals and flipping it in real time. It's simple, it's creative, and you don't even need expensive DJ gear to do it. Today we've been using the DDJ Flex 4, which is an entry-level controller, but has everything that you need. You don't need to overcomplicate things to be a next-level DJ. You just need the right mindset a bit of preparation, and a few tools and skills that actually work. If this has opened your eyes to what's possible with DJing, then my full course takes it to the next level. I've helped a lot of DJs level up, and if you're ready, the link is in the description if you want to check it out. Thank you for watching, and if you want to check out something else from me and my channel, then YouTube recommends this video right here.